the sport one.
Which one was that?
The Joe's show on Sunday morning.
Ah, okay. What did you talk about?
Football and rugby in general. That was actually my first time at the radio.
Oh, what was it like? It's quite nerve-wracking.
It was stressful, but at the same time, Joe was quite reassuring. He knew how to like tell me stuff and how to reassure me how to do stuff. So it was really good in the end.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He is. He was my first guest.
I've listened part of it yesterday.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's nice to hear.
Yeah.
Listen to it. I don't really do it for people to listen to it. I mean, people will listen to it. Obviously, that's the intention of doing it. It's more just to, I guess, improve my speaking skills.
Of course.
Because I think that's something you could always improve upon. There's always something to improve your personality and your characteristics. I mean, you're a good speaker. You speak several languages. You're also very hardworking as well.
The show that I do is not something that I do because I want people to listen. As you said, it's a personal thing.
Yeah, and it's also, it gets you, sounds a bit weird, but posting about stuff that you're new to is also quite intimidating because you always feel like someone's going to be judging you, if you know what I mean.
If you feel reassured about your work, I mean, there's no reason people should judge you.
True.
If I had to stop myself in everything that people judge me, I don't think I would do much.
we wouldn't be sitting here now.
No.
Let's be honest. I think I even had that before I came to uni.
Tell me about it. Same.
What was that journey? What was that journey like? Before you came to Exeter, what was your upbringing?
I was in Paris for all my life, and I changed 5 schools.
5 schools.
Yeah. Are we recording, by the way?
Oh yeah, we're live.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
No, I didn't tell you. This is just a show. There's no intro. We just go straight into it.
Nice. Yeah. I was 5 schools. Because my mom changed a lot of houses in Paris, so I just changed school pretty much.
Ah, so you lived in Paris all your life then?
Yeah.
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 And where does the Italian part of you? Is that your father?
No, both of my parents.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. My mom is from Florence and my dad is from Sicily.
Oh, so I see. So they came from Italy and then you were born in France and then, yeah. Ah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I try to go to Italy every year, but yeah, I don't think this year I'll be able. So, cross fingers.
Yeah. Well, you'll be singing for Italy in X-Vision, aren't you?
Oh, fuck yeah, I forgot about that.
No, you can swear, go for
Okay.
it. Just don't say anything racist,
No, actually,
homophobic.
wait. Okay, yeah, I am performing in X-Vision, and this year X-Vision Song Contest, so like that I can, as we talked about it, I can probably show off, not show off, but more like, show off in a way my public speaking skills, because I've never been on a stage before, so.
How are you feeling about it? Nervous?
Yes and no. The other day I was telling myself, carpe diem. Just carpe diem on the day. That's it.
It's nice to have those little phrases, to sort of remind you of your mortality as well. And it's quite deep saying that, but there's one that I've started picking up in the last week or two. I was saying this to Joe actually yesterday. Memento mori. So that is, remember you will die. So that it sort of makes you realise that end of the day, you've got to keep trying stuff. Because at the end of your life.
You know what they say, we have 2 lives. The second one starts when you realise you only have one.
Ah, that's good. That just gave me goosebumps, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Have you always been that way? This...
No. I've started being like that last year.
Last year?
Yeah, last year. And it kind of helped me, especially because it's in 3rd year that I started doing so much in here at uni. So yeah, it kind of helped me to go through a lot of stuff, because 2nd year I kind of started, but I already I would say had the educational officer role at the French Society, and I was like, it's fine for the moment. Then during the holidays in April when the elections were going on, I was like, wait, how am I going to handle 2 societies next year as president of French and publicity officer of Italian? And then here I am handling, I don't know how many societies.
It's 4 or 5. Because I remember when we did the 6. I remember, what was it, the guild elections, when we did the roundtable discussion. I remember you were sitting there reading off your titles, and James Allen joked to me about it. It was like Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones. Have you seen Game of Thrones? I can't really give you the reference. It's hard to understand the reference. You haven't seen it, but she has like 6-7 titles that she always reads out, like when she's meeting people. So it was like you, just like listening to all the things you've done.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit weird because I was like, okay, should I tell them all or should I just tell probably the big ones? I would say the president, and then I was like, fuck it, let's just list them all.
Oh yeah, because each roles require different skills. I mean, the president, in the way, you need to have all, at least the basics of all. That's how I approach it with XTV.
Yeah.
Unless you differ in a way.
Yeah. I would say, you need all the skills when you're president. Even though I think president is probably the one where you need to be more political, I would say. Between all, how many roles are there? 5? Between all the 5-6 roles, that's the one where you need to be more political.
How do you mean?
Because you are, I mean, as far as I saw with the current guild president and also the previous ones, they are the ones that make the most changes. I would say they campaign to do the most changes, even though the other ones still do it as well. But I think the other ones are more specific stuff related, so it seems less political to me. If I go and talk to Alex for education, he will be telling me, I work with academic reps, I do department officers. It's still politics in a way because they're trying to advocate for some change in the departments. But then I'm like, is it really politics as going campaigning about, I don't know, political situation in the world, for example? Because the current guild president, Emma, she's very involved into like vegan stuff, ecology, Palestine, all this kind of stuff. So that's the pretty political side, like what people would consider as political. But then asking for some changes, for example, in societies, technically, it's also political, but less.
Would you like class as like an extremist scale then? Something like asking for change is, it's a natural thing, isn't it? But it's not massively political. Whereas, campaigning for like the Palestine thing is quite activist, if you know what I mean.
Well, during the campaign, I was like, I don't think a lot of these rules should be political because that's one of the reasons people don't go and vote. How much did we get this year? 13%?
I think it was between 10 and 13 is what.
I think it was 13.10, something like that. It was slightly higher than last year. 13.10, something like that. And which is, when you think about it, it's ridiculously low. And I think it's because it's way too political. And even though it was my second campaign this year, I was like, why is it so much? I think it's so draining. As soon as you don't get into this like a label of being either Labour or Conservative, you don't, I think in a nice way, you know already that you've lost. So when I saw the result on the 2nd of February, I was like, shit, that's a bit of a problem. That's a shame, losing by 2 votes. But then at the same time, I'm like, I'm pretty proud. I'm non-political. I've never been associated to any political parties, and I still managed to have 2 votes different with someone who was literally endorsed by every left-wing political parties. So
that's very impressive, man. It's very impressive. Have you recovered from that, haven't you? Maybe you're saying it took you like a week or something to get over it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say yes. I feel much better now, even though I don't think I'll be fully recovered for a long, long time, because for me, being recovered would mean knowing what I'm doing next year.
It's scary, baby. It's scary.
Yeah, so I think until I don't have the certainty of what I'm doing this year, I think I won't be able to say that I'm fully recovered. I think I'm feeling recovered, kind of, from the whole month of campaigning in January because it was so draining. We had so much to do, and mentally speaking, I was personally, and I even spoke about it with India, I was getting tired and crazy because there was so much, and it was very demanding. So I think I've recovered from that, and yeah, my kind of social relationship has gone back to normal as well. Because a friend of mine during the election, we kind of had an argument in a way, because it was two friends, and they were, in a nice way, they didn't want to tell me because they wanted me to win, obviously, but in the same time they were getting annoyed. And when they told me that, I was like, wow, they're actually right. I was only thinking about that, only about the election, talking about only the election. Well, no wonder people are just gonna get bored about it, you know. So I'm personally, and everyone is quite personally happy that everything is quite finished, so like that we can just move on and go to other stuff, because it was getting way too long.
From the outside looking in, from an XTV point of view, it seems like a 2-week crash course, if I'm not mistaken.
1 month.
1 month, because it
was from the 10th of January until the 2nd of February.
And then, so you have
3 weeks. Yeah.
You go to these briefings, don't you? And then you can't release digital stuff or online stuff. Was it 2 weeks before the due date?
So the beginning of the digital campaign was on the 10th of January. So that's when we were allowed to post on social media. And then on the 17th, 1 week after, we discovered who were our opponents. And then the physical one started on the 29th. Yeah, 29th.
29th. Yeah, that's...
It was a good experience. It was a really, really good experience. And I've met a lot of people. Not only I've met a lot of people amongst the candidate, amongst the people that were helping, some candidates. If you think about it, I really had a good time. It's just that mentally speaking, I was so bad. I was like getting so tired that I would say this year I was truly myself, and I think this is one of the reasons I got so many votes compared to last year, where I clearly wasn't myself when I was running for guild president. So yeah, I was quite happy, and I really enjoyed the physical campaign. But in the same time, I was like, please get it finished as soon as possible. Well, he was a candidate, so I can say we were looking at each other with Sebastian, the one who won the education officer, and we're like, please get it done as soon as possible.
Yeah. Well, you had a good support for your team. I know Mikhail, bless him, he was always telling me to vote for you. Even when I told him I voted for you, he's like, vote again. He said Cornelia did a great job with the publicity as well.
Cornelia has been sensational. Cornelia, Michael, everyone that helped me on the whole campaign has been absolutely sensational. Whether it's telling people, like their friends, house, to go and vote. So many people I didn't even think they would go and vote did it. Unfortunately, there was also the other side. Some people I thought they were going to vote, they didn't vote. But it is what it is. It's the political side of it. So it doesn't mean anything. Because I had a bit of a tricky story on the evening of the result. I went back home with some friends. We went to see the rugby match, France-Ireland, which was a good way to distract and forget everything. But in the same time, I was like, yeah, oh well, let's try and forget about it and let's try and move on. I go back to the depot. A friend of mine who I thought voted during the week, because I even told him, I think, twice. He tells me, no, I didn't vote in Indiana. I was like,
damn.
And at that moment, you're like, I've lost by 2 votes. And if just hearing one person, even a second person that tells you
how close you really were,
yeah,
really sets in.
You just tell, if he voted, it could have potentially changed my life. So it's fine. But yeah, it's just, I think, and also, again, that's one of the reasons I think people don't vote. It's because they don't realize how much, first of all, it has an impact on them, the students, when they vote to see who they would elect, but also how much it can also have an impact on the candidates.
Yeah, 13% of all students. How many students are in Exeter? Is it
I think we're
20,000 plus?
31.
31,000. Wow,
Yeah.
I'm off. But
Because it was like 4,000 something students.
that's crazy. So like you said, not everyone realizes. Where are you moving?
I think you have to put my microphone up.
Oh,
No, because I can't hear myself.
try now.
Hello, I can't hear myself.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can definitely hear you.
Because I can't hear myself. I was wondering if
That's mic 3, isn't it?
Huh?
That's mic 3 in the corner.
Try. I was just wondering why I couldn't hear myself. Hello.
Yeah, that's the third mic. That's weird. Are the headsets connected?
No, because I realized the same with Joe. That I couldn't hear him very well in the episode.
You're coming through over here, so you're fine.
Okay,
You're
no worries.
fine.
Okay.
And
Brilliant.
if not, I've been talking to myself and sound like a bit of a
No,
schizophrenic.
I could hear Joe, but you when I heard the episode, I could hear you like perfectly because you were really in the microphone. In him, it was like his voice was coming through your mic or something. Like if this one was not on.
Yeah, it was weird. I think because I recorded it, I believe mono. You're gonna hear one microphone more. I think it was because when you record in stereo, which I don't know how to do. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I need Ali to show me. It records both audio channels, so it records my mic separately and your mic separately.
Oh,
And then I could sort of change the volume and stuff in that.
Okay, nice.
But you definitely sound more. I can definitely hear you.
Okay,
And
perfect.
you're coming through over here. And when you speak, the recording has a little sound going up. But I know what you mean with the Joe thing. It was a bit quiet.
No, I was just wondering if it was normal or if there was something. So, okay, perfect.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Yeah. You, to all the listeners of T.W.T. Podcast, I apologize for my voice as I only slept 5 hours last night.
what were you up to?
Polish Society at the depot until 3 a.m. in the morning.
Jeez, you played. Was it Uno? I think I saw.
There was a good, yeah. It was supposed to be only a games night, but it ended up having so many drunk Polish people. It was hilarious. I honestly, I was just expecting like a chill night, and just playing games. I was a bit skeptical at the beginning, thinking it might be just a bit boring, just games, and ended up it was so hilarious. Honestly, these guys, I know it might sound really cliche, and I told them last night, guys, stop drinking. Otherwise people will really say it's cliche that the Polish people drink non-stop.
Was it vodka? And that's the stereotype, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that a new society that was formed? Polish
Yes.
Society.
Yes. So the Polish Society was formed in November. Yeah, November. Me, Cornelia, the president, and Scarlett, the treasurer, we were just chilling out at the depot, and I can't remember why Cornelia brought it up. I think it was when we were speaking about X-Vision. We were like, oh, you'll probably need delegation for X-Vision, as she will be representing Poland. Well, now I can say it. She will be announced tomorrow evening. So, and we're like, you know what? Let's probably create this society so like that you can probably meet more Polish people. And I already told her about it last June, after the first edition of X-Vision, but I think she wasn't really feeling it because being president of a society, well, we both know what it means. It's quite demanding. I personally think it's one of the best experience in my life, but you have to be ready for it.
I 110% agree. I would not regret a single minute being XTV president.
Oh, same. Same.
I feel like I do want to move on though. Once I graduate, I'm looking forward to that experience because I love XTV, but I know if I was to do this another year, I've come to hate it. Because I eventually, you don't make any money unless you're doing professional work, which is quite rare with the society itself. But I want to start like maybe a business or start actually making some revenue, making some actual money, as opposed to just going home having to work or doing the odd shift here with the guild sort of thing. I just want to have a nice job.
No, I get you. I think I would probably say the same if I didn't. How would you say? If I knew what I wanted to do.
It's hard.
It's
really
hard because I kind of know what I want to do, but in the same time, being here in Exeter is like kind of a safe thing, I would say. Safe place. So it's now that it's official that I'm not staying anymore. It's to be fair, I've always knew about it. Whether it was in first year, second year, third year, this year, I knew this moment would come. So just get it as soon as possible. And
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm in the same sort of space as you. With like, don't really know what you want to do. I'm just applying for any graduate job that comes at the moment. There's been Exeter ones because I love Exeter to bits. You know, I remember first coming here in September 2019 to actually visit a mate. I had no intention of actually, going to university at all. I remember we went round the Freshers' Fair or in the Great Hall, and I was thinking, this is fucking amazing. Like, holy shit, I have to come here. I just fell in love with the place. And I remember applying for UCAS. You get 5 unis.
Me and Tom are
Can't
too
stop.
indoctrinated by societies.
I remember it being my fifth choice. Not my fifth choice, but my first choice, but the 5th university to get back to me. And I was saying I remember coming in through the door after a shift at work, getting the notification that I've been accepted, and I felt just how over the moon I felt, knowing I was coming to Exeter, the place that I really wanted to come. And now, fast forward 4 years from there, I'm about to graduate, from this place and potentially get a graduate job. But going back onto what we're saying about not really knowing what we want to do, my granddad gave me some great advice that worked for him. It was try and work for as many jobs as you can until you find something that you love. While you've got no responsibility, we've got no kids, we've got no mortgages to pay. We've got a lot of time.
And I think that's what the beauty of societies are. Because you said it's free and we don't earn any money, which is true. But in the same time, I'm like, this is what helps us to gain so much experience and learn so many new stuff. All the societies I've been involved in since I've been here in Exeter, whether it's on committee or just as a member, they've been so different. Let's be honest, most of them were international societies, like country related, but I've been on a lot of societies, and no matter the subject, no matter like what they do, just the people you meet, it changes your life. It seriously changes your life. Sometimes in the negative, but I think 99% of the time in the positive, because even if you meet someone who is negative or has a negative impact on you, it's kind of weird to say, but they bring you something positive, and very often you understand things not to do.
Yeah, and it's also negative people, you appreciate more the positive people as well, And then there's also being on committee with societies and stuff. You meet so many good people that you can be that hopefully are friends for life.
That's one of my big fear, is because when I came to Exeter, I didn't keep many friends from Paris, because I was like, I want to kind of redo my life again, as I feel I didn't belong to myself in Paris. I wasn't really in my environment. So when I came to Exeter, I was like, this is where I belong. This is who I am. So that's why it's kind of difficult to leave. But it is what it is. I'm sure I'll find new places around London, around the world. We'll see.
London would be quite nice. Have you been much
To London?
Yeah.
My mum lives in there.
Oh. I see.
So technically I live in Paris, but because my mum lives in London, I kind of say that I live in London now. Because of Exeter, it's just easier to go back to London.
Yeah, it's just under 2 hours on the train, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. 2 hours. Yeah. What about you, actually? What do you do?
So I live in a town called St. It's it's just by Cambridge. So it's within the county of Cambridgeshire. I always tell people it's by Cambridge. Everyone knows. Even if you're here within a month, you've only been here for a month in this country, you know where Cambridge is.
Yeah.
You know what Cambridge, well, you don't know where it is, but you know what it is.
Yeah,
so I use that as a place.
No matter which student you will talk to, they will know where Cambridge and Oxford are.
Because isn't it a joke that Exeter has most of the Oxford rejects and Cambridge rejects?
In French, we say that Exeter is the dustbin of Oxford. Because in the school, one of the schools where I've been to in Paris is I would say it's probably one of the elitist school in Paris, which is one of the reasons I didn't like it. But sometimes they were kind of saying, "Oh, this school is the dustbin of my school. This school is the dustbin of this school." Like they're just making comparison all the time. I'm like, just it's not fair. It's not. I think it's not mentally good for anyone to do a comparison with between people, because it just you put them again. It was the same thing as during the elections. You put people in a label, and you make them think, "Oh, I am someone or I am something," that then it sometimes not the true.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes important to compare stuff though in terms of evaluating. You know, I think were you talking about the people at different universities, or the universities themselves?
In general, like if I compare, if they say, "Oh, he's in Exeter, so he's just an Oxford rejected," something like that. I think it's not really fair to say that. He's just, no matter what he's done, or no matter, he is what he is. He's an Exeter student, and that's it. You don't really need to say, "Oh, he's an Oxford rejected," or something like that, because it's kind of, he did it, he tried it. He tried it, and now he just moves on. Now he's an Exeter. I think it's a bit of a negative way to describe someone. If you want to describe, as you said, and you're right, evaluate someone on like what he's done, or what he is, him personally, or her, like the person, it's good and it's fine. I don't really like when people kind of compare each other, like, "Oh, I am better than you," or "I should do this, this, and this because he does this and this and this." The other day I was speaking about it to a friend, and they were talking to me about how, they see that a lot of people find like they do a lot of stuff. They see that a lot of people do a lot of stuff, and they're like, "Oh my God, I'm not doing much then." How many times has it happened to me since last year of people saying, "Oh, I feel I don't do much. I feel I should be more involved. I feel I should do this, this, and this." I'm like, yes, okay, go for it. But don't go for it just because you've seen someone like me, for example, who's in 5 societies. That doesn't mean I'm a good person and you're not. It's more, I'm a passioner. It's my passion. Am I crazy? Yes, sometimes. But it's something that I like. But it's a passion of working in societies in the same way as someone could have a passion in reading books or being passionate about filming. So you shouldn't do stuff just because someone else does. I personally prefer seeing someone who does maybe one society, but at least he enjoys it. And it's something that he or she, likes it, and they will be good at it. Because most important is, that's one of the things I've learned from the French system, because they tell you the opposite, quality over quantity.
Yeah, that's a good thing to pick on. I think what you said there is based on values. There's a great book that is in my top 3 books for changing my life. Is a book called Lost Connections by Johann Hari. So basically he calls these, a way that we can get depressed is based on our values. So there's 2 types of values that he describes in the book. There's intrinsic and extrinsic. Extrinsic is doing it because we get validation, our ego is fed. We're doing it just to build up a perception of ourselves. Whereas intrinsic is something we want to do because we want to do it. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's a good way of measuring what you really want to try and do. What you said there, 5 societies, that's something intrinsic. You do it because you want to do it. And I think that's great.
I'm someone who, how would you say? I don't think I've ever said it, but I'm someone has kind of a form of ADD, and I'm always full of imagination. I'm always full of imagination. I think this morning I'm a bit tired to think about it, but it happens really often that just in a normal event or normal moment. Last night we were playing table tennis, and whilst playing table tennis, I was imagining an event, a new event idea whilst I was playing table tennis. So this is how my mind works. But that doesn't mean, some people will find it really cool, some people will think it's really boring, some people won't care. And to the people that find this cool, I'm like, thank you. That's really lovely. But that doesn't mean you have to be the same, because we are not all the same, and all of us have different positive things about ourselves that it will take time. I'm 21 now. I came to uni when I was 17 and a half. After 4 years, nearly 4 years, it took me really, really lots of time to discover this kind of stuff. I kind of all this event organization, this kind of stuff. I only thought about it last year, even though I've been here for 4 years. So it takes a lot of time. So to everyone who thinks, they might be rubbish or they might have no talent or anything, no, we all have a talent, all of us. But I think it takes time, first of all, to get discovered. And also, I feel you have to be surrounded by the good person for that. Because first year, second year, I wouldn't say I was surrounded by bad people, but I wouldn't say I was surrounded as good as I am in third year and now in fourth year. You know what they say? Surround yourself by people who lift you up rather than put you down.
I love that quote. That is a brilliant quote. Do you remember the first time when you stepped into a role of leadership? Being the president for the first time, how daunting it was. I remember when
president of French Society. Yeah,
I remember when I first became station manager of XTV, I actually had this intense imposter syndrome, and I didn't actually act on anything. Imposter syndrome. So that is you're in a position that you don't think you deserve.
No, I think if we get these positions, whether it's president of XTV or president of French or any society, that means we deserve it. No matter how many people we were against, no matter how many votes we got, everything happens for a reason. It is what it is. Whether we win or we lose, it's for a reason.
It's fate.
It's faith, yeah.
That's fate.
Technically, yeah.
That's definitely something I've believed more in as well in the last couple of years. I believe that's my granddad that's had a big influence on me, because he's a Christian, and I'm not saying that I'm religious. I believe it more in a spiritual sense.
Oh yeah, I'm not religious as well, but a lot of events that happened recently with all these quotes. I've never really thought about these quotes since beginning of third year, end of second year, and it just motivates you. Even if sometimes it doesn't really mean something, like maybe it won't really happen, just the fact of hearing it will motivate you even more.
It does.
It might sound really silly, but a good technique that I often tell friends if they're feeling a bit bad is repeat in your head several times until you need it, I'm the best. I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best. It might sound like the most silly sentence ever, but the fact of repeating it non-stop in your head will genuinely make your mind more positive and more proud of yourself.
Do you meditate at all? Meditate on your thoughts?
I wish I was.
Yeah.
No, I wish I was. I don't meditate, but I started yoga since December with Cornelia and the Yoga Society.
Ah, yoga. Yeah. How have you found doing that?
It's it's challenging because I've never done it before, and also even though I go to the beginners class, it's kind of beginner, but because they've started in September and I've started in the middle of the year, it's a bit more demanding. But it's good. It's good. I've been to four classes now. Yeah, 4 classes, and every time I just see more and more the purpose of it, and I just see why people love it so much. So let's say that probably compared to the others, I don't have what they would call a yoga body, because I'm more like very heavy body. So it's quite difficult to be flexible. But my dad apparently has been doing it for 2 years now, and he loves it as well. He manages to improve. So I'm like, it's just a question of training. Mm-hmm. If I continue, I'll probably manage. I've got Cornelia, who's a really amazing teacher, by the way. If anyone wants to go to Yoga Society, definitely.
Oh, she teaches as well?
Yeah, she officially she's the treasurer of the Yoga Society, but because from what I understood, sometimes teachers kind of drop out or something like that, then she she replaces them. And I've heard some students who go to the classes and they're like, Cornelia is such a good teacher. It's true. No, genuinely, I've been to one of the. I've been to 3 classes. 3 classes where she was the teacher, and it's just she's really good, honestly. Because going back to the motivation sentences, it's challenging during the class, because sometimes it's exercise, sometimes it's just meditation at the beginning. And then at the end, she comes out with these motivation sentences when you relax after doing this exercise. And again, it might be the silliest sentence on earth, but just the fact of hearing it just puts you in a good mood after the session.
Yeah, it's also that little bit of struggle, isn't it, you get with it. For me, my version of yoga is exercising, whether that's lifting on weights or going for a run. It really helps me. I do it first thing in the morning to clear my head quite a bit, and then it really helps me feel good for the rest of the day. So you find that yoga does that quite a bit with you then?
I think meditation does it more, because as you said, yoga for me, for the moment, but it's just because I haven't done it much. It's only for like, how would you say? It's only exercise thing for the moment, so it's quite tiring at the end, but it's not the same tiredness than after going to the gym. Like, I don't know, going for a run or going to the bicycle, because I think yoga tiredness is physical tiredness, but mentally clear.
Oh, like a bliss, if that makes sense. Yeah.
The other day I did 15 minutes of meditation and a bit of yoga in my room.
I think that's cool, man.
I sent a message to some of my friends after. I was like, I feel on a different planet now. Because your mind is so clear, it's so different that you just feel you're on a different world.
Have you done downward dog, the yoga pose?
That's so complicated. And Cornelia was trying to tell me yesterday how to do it.
It's painful. If you have tight
hamstrings, painful as hell. My God.
If you have tight hamstrings, it is probably the worst yoga exercise for you. And I think this plank class is yoga. Plank. So you put your elbows out and you put your legs out, and you sort of balance your core. I mean,
it's not really an exercise. If I remember it's not really an exercise that they do. It's more like a phase you have to go through to go to the other exercise or something.
I see. Okay. Yeah, it's impressive to hear Cornelia does so much. She's Polish Society, yoga, she's Eurovision Society
she's really
as well.
Impressive.
She is.
She does a lot as well, yeah.
Can't believe the Eurovision thing as well. Remember, you came to me last year. I think that's the first time we met, wasn't it, as well? When you spoke to him.
When was it? Did we meet because of Reese? Like, not because, sorry, thanks to Reese.
Because Reese introduced you to me because you were looking to do X Vision last year, weren't you? You were thinking about doing it as an event. And I remember you come into the...
Actually, I think Reese never told you the real story. Nothing related to XTV, but the real thing is, I didn't even know how the show X Vision could end up in the end, and I think that it would be genuinely true to say that Reese is the person who brought up X Vision in the way that it is. I probably maybe had the idea of it, but he's the one that brought the whole concept of how to build it. Because when I met him the first time, my daily thing I knew is I wanted to do a show in the same way as Eurovision with students. That's it. And then he told me, because I genuinely had no idea what Expression was, I had no idea what XTV was, and I had no idea what the Great Hall was. So I discovered, I think, all this thanks to him, which then he brought me to you and Expose.
That's brilliant, isn't it? The story of networking and how much it can do for you. Meeting one person can have such a huge impact. Like you said, you met Reese and he basically brought this idea and added all these things to it. And then us three met. You and Reese met. I remember you came into the office, didn't you? And I remember when I opened my door, there's this giant dude just standing there going to talk to me about the idea of doing a X Vision event. I was thinking, that's a brilliant idea. That's a fantastic idea. And I remember the stress of planning it as well. I feel like you'd probably know more about the stress than I would. I mean, all I did was turn up with a light with some cameras and live streamed it. But
No, you didn't. You didn't. Sorry, we had a lot of meetings in January and February before the show because we wasn't able to attend, and we at the end there was a moment where it was only you and me. Remember?
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's a moment where there was only you and me, and honestly, that's one of the things I really enjoy as well about societies, because we're not paid. We don't have to particularly stick to our role. Like, if I'm president, that doesn't mean I can't do publicity, for example, if the publicity officer needs help. Or if I'm part of an organization team, so for example, X-Vision, this year I'm technically general sec, but I can replace Alec whenever he needs it, or I can replace Valerie whenever they need it, in the same way as Alec can replace me whenever I need, or something like that. So I think the flexible side of a role in a society, I think, is quite important, because if you just stick to your role, I don't think the team could particularly work really well, because in all the 5 societies I'm in this year, generally I think all of them are really credible, because we managed to change and adapt ourselves no matter to the situation, whether it's with Italian, French, Eurovision, Olympic Games and Polish. No matter the situation, we always manage to help each other in, if someone is unavailable or someone needs help, this kind of stuff. I feel there's always a way to adapt and help each other.
What's your role with the Olympic Society, Olympic Games? President. Oh, of course. What do you do with that then? Is it, because I think before you've done football charity matches, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Have something else.
So originally I wanted to do a lot of Olympic tournaments with on campus, but I realized how much it's difficult to work with some people that I won't name, and actually it's not the people, it's an organization. I'll let you guess, and let's say that the only one that was particularly possible to do was only football, because I didn't really need the help of anyone, because men's football, you literally just have to text people and they come.
Yeah, football's brilliant.
It's the only popular sport, I would say, enough to be organized without the help of any societies or club. So
is it similar to netballing and how you set up? You pay a fee for a team, and then that team turns up weekly for fixtures, or is it more casual and laid back?
So it depends. Last year, when we did the first edition of the World Cup in May 2023, it was a one-day tournament, and we had 16 teams playing at the same time on the San Astro.
16 teams?
Yeah, because we had 4 little pitch for six-a-side. Sorry. So there was technically 8 teams at the same time, actually. And there was just rotating for the group stage, and then quarterfinal, semi-final, and big final.
What position do you play?
I don't play. I organize. If I play, my team loses immediately.
You're not a centre back. You got the height for it, or a goalkeeper maybe.
I talked about it with my dad yesterday. He thinks I should be 9.
He thinks you should be what?
9 striker.
Number 9.
Yeah, striker. I don't know why.
Target man. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was quite demanding, because we were trying to do it for charity, but unfortunately the pitch was so expensive that we didn't manage to collect that much for charity, because we had to give back the money for the pitch. But it was clearly on the top list of the event that I've organized here at uni.
Did you get it for cheaper because it was for a charity event? No, still high in money.
No. As I said, I won't name them, because honestly, some of them have been really nice, but some people in this organization, I think they're just no. It would be mean to say they think only about money, but I don't think they seem to care a lot about student experience, because everything is so expensive that you just think it's just for a certain type of people. Then, if you don't have any money, how can they do?
I think you need that balance of a business mindset, but also, actually be empathetic as well. I think most people that are quite kind and quite helpful in these organisations have actually been students themselves, so they sort of know what it's like.
No, I mean, you're right to say that they've been students, but sometimes I'm wondering, have you guys actually been students? Because as I said, lots of them that I met, especially in the social sport area, they're genuinely really, really nice. And what's his name? Steven and Varsha, I've met them this year. They're really, really nice people. The one that organized the social sport stuff. But some others, I'm like, either they don't care about the student experience, and if they do, it's like the politics people. They live in a different world. So yeah, it was quite difficult because we were trying to pay for the pitch and trying to get a reduced price, but then unfortunately we couldn't. So yeah, but then this year for the second edition, in term one, I tried with the rest of the committee to organize a kind of a World Cup league where we had, it was same format, group stage, quarterfinal, semi-final, and final. But unfortunately, because it was term, people studying, blah blah blah. Because last year in May, the year was already finished, so everyone was free. But during the year, we were kind of just doing a league, mostly on Wednesday and Saturday, and people would just come. All the pitch were booked, and people would come and play. So obviously, they had to pay a fee, but I think it was too nice, and I didn't check enough because I realized that half of the teams didn't pay.
Really?
Yeah.
So what was your? How did you deal with that?
I'll be honest, I didn't really care because I've always been in a mentality since I've started being on committee, whether it's education office and then onwards in third year. I realized how much money the societies have. That I'm like, we have the society. People are already paying for membership, and we're living in a current, cost of living crisis. A lot of people are spending already so much, and I'm like, why should I make them pay? We have the money. Why should I make them pay? I think there are some people and organizations that have a lot of money that they say that they are for, helping students. And I think that's genuinely the best way you can help students, to make things free, because that's the only way people will come. So some teams, it wasn't actually by teams, it was by players. So players had to buy a ticket to kind of participate. But there were so many players, I didn't check all of them, that I'm like, they just want to play for free, and it's fair enough. The intramural stuff every term is £150 per team. Yeah, whether it's in French, Italian, or football or netball, I've never charged anyone for intramural, because I think it's pretty ridiculous to charge it. I wouldn't. I don't want to be against them, because I really like them and they're doing a really genius job. But there is a society that has so many members, and they still charge people to play netball, even though I know that they have so many members, which means they have a lot of money. And I'm like, it's not fair. I don't think it's fair. If they have the money, okay, fine. But I don't think everyone has that money, and it's kind of a way you exclude people, because if they have to pay, they won't come.
Yeah, we have a very similar way of doing it with X Media, Nets Media. So we have two teams. That's £300. But basically, what we do is, when you pay a membership, you don't pay to come to netball, because we've realised that some of these people actually really look forward to these things. Can you imagine charging someone a couple of quid and then only play for 10 minutes? Because so many people turn up. How unfair is that?
Agreed.
This is a chance for people to socialise and actually exercise as well.
And also, if you charge people, they'll never come.
Exactly.
They'll never come, because now in January, I'll be entirely honest, I've talked about it with the committee. We were seeing the finances going a bit low. Not low, but they were going a bit down. And I'm like, okay, maybe we should start charging a little bit people for the sport. But then after 2 weeks, I was like, no, we won't do it. I changed my mind on this idea, because I think they genuinely won't come anymore if we make them charge. Maybe the only one that could potentially work is the football guys, because I think no matter how much you have to pay, they will still come. But the netball people, it's already a struggle every week to find enough players for each match. It's a bit of a last second thing to find players. So I think if we start charging them, none of them will come.
Yeah. How do you struggle? I feel like you're quite a big. I thought you'd have quite a lot of interest with the netball team.
No, I mean, yes and no, because it's a pretty chill environment. We don't want to make it compulsory. We don't want to make it, if you don't come, you'll be excluded of the team. No, literally, our mentality has always been the same for the last 3 years. Monday, Tuesday, if I'm not late, I always put on the group chat, this is the match where we'll be playing on Sunday against blah, blah, blah. React if you can come. That's it. And then we just see how many people react on Saturday. So today, for example, we're just going to see if we have enough people, and then we're just going to send more messages. Oh, is anyone available? Blah, blah, blah. Sometimes we have enough. Sometimes we have less than 7. But, it's sometimes it's quite challenging.
Well, it's good that we can always, give you players as well, and vice versa. Because some people, they don't really check, do they? To be honest, the fact that you haven't registered players, I feel like you need to have players registered to play for your team, don't you? I mean,
in Israel.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's like official rules, but no one really. I don't
I don't think it's even an official rule. No, if you really want to talk about this, they don't. The referees don't even care about it, because. And this, I don't mind talking about it and be open about it. Last week, and we had, I would say, the most disastrous referee I've ever seen on a netball pitch. I thank God for her that I don't know her name, but I strongly believe that she shouldn't be allowed on a netball pitch anymore, because she's the most disrespectful and baddest referee I've ever seen, because she was friend with our opponents.
Conflict of interest.
And
Ooh.
I won't even name the club. It wasn't even a society, it was a sports club we were playing against with the Italian society. They openly said during the match, oh yeah, she's friend with some of us. We were like, what? As you said, conflict of interest. And also, she didn't care about us. Like, clearly not. She was always calling fouls for us. And for them, it's fine. Walking, it's fine. Like, it was so disastrous. And one of our players even got nearly injured 3 times. She didn't even care about it. So in my head, I was like, okay, should we send her to the hospital so she can be really aware about it? Our player, should we send her to the hospital? So it's just, again, it's a non-competitive and a very chill league, and you've played it in. You probably know what it means.
I was about to say, like, I'm happy it's an intramural, because although you do take it serious, because we all have that competitive inside of us, don't we? Really,
that's normal. We want to win the match, but in the same time,
you don't pay and play just to lose, do you?
Of course, we don't want to lose. That's for sure. But if we lose, we are respectful and we're like, congratulations to the other team, because if we lose, that means they're probably better than us, and it's fine.
It's the manner of how you lose that's frustrating.
Yeah.
Like biased referee.
I wrote an open letter that I posted on my social media last week, that a lot of people send me a message saying they agree, and some teams. I got a message from the Law Society who complained about it as well. Like, their captain told me, oh yes, we had this and this and this and this as well, and I was like, good. I'm really glad, because we want to pass on the message. It's just not fair. We come there every Sunday to play. It wasn't the first time what happened last week. We just have it every week. So I was quite happy about it, that whether it's us, Italian, Law, French, and I think some people in Next Media were telling me about it as well.
We've definitely had it in the past. Last year, I mean, I was actually someone that was fouled. I mean, I pretty much got bodied by a guy that's like twice the size of me, and nothing got called. Yeah,
they don't seem to care. So I think that's genuinely a big problem right now amongst the referees in netball, because they're always the same one.
I don't think it's all of them.
There's
not, one or two that make it bad. Give a bad reputation.
It's not all of them, but because it's always the same ones, and you can tell they just know each other, it's just an environmental mentality problem. So for us as players, because we just want to have fun, the fact that, again, as I said, we don't mind losing from the moment it's with respect and fair play, but losing in that way doesn't make a enjoy the moment. Because we've lost several matches. It's been 3 years that I'm playing netball in intramural. We've lost a lot of matches, but I didn't mind. The team spirit was really good. We were really trying our best, and this is what I like. I prefer losing with a team. Sorry, that
who's having a good time,
yeah,
and enjoying themselves and building themselves as a team, like a cohesive unit.
Yeah,
as opposed to winning and everyone being against and being individualistic.
Yeah, I mean, when you win, you have to be in a team. You have to be a team if you win, but it depends on the atmosphere. Because if you just there to destroy a team, I don't know, 25-0. I mean, yes, we won, but I mean, how? It's a bit boring, I prefer winning maybe on, I don't know, 1918 on a close one. And that's what happened with the Italian Society last term. I can't remember who was it against, but it was like 8-7, 9-8. It was really, really close. And we were so happy about it because it was like really intense. We were really trying our best. Everyone, whether it was on the bench or on the pitch, we're all cheering up, supporting as a team. That was probably one of the best netball match I've ever seen, because that is the atmosphere. And even if we've lost, even if we would have lost that match, I would have been still proud of everyone because we really gave everything we had.
Do you know, a small thing that I like looking at is the team pictures that you get at the end of the game. It's the team photos. Do you get team photos?
Yeah, but we rarely do it when we win.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. I think Sophie, bless her, I think she's changed it, the Nets media captain. I don't think she posts the score if we lose. I'm not mistaken. Sophie, if you've listened to us, correct me, please. But we always post it. We always post the score if we win. That's what I found out. So the games that we've lost quite badly, are you checking?
I don't know. Yeah, because for anyone who doesn't know, we have a netball session every Saturday at 3 p.m. if you want to come. The training one. You're in the group chat, remember?
Yeah, I'm just thinking if I should come to there.
We still have available places for today, if
I've got time. Let's see what I've got to do. I've got a lot of housework to do.
Busy boy.
Yeah, I've got to be busy. It's funny actually. I was going to comment on it. You mentioned earlier you got ADD, so attention deficit disorder. I've got.
It's kind of. It's a form of ADD. It's basically I can't concentrate more than, like, I would say after half an hour I can tell that I'm moving to something else. And as we say, our generation has the attention deficit. No, attention
span of like
a goldfish.
Of goldfish, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting because I have ADHD and I've had it since I was a young boy. I've been diagnosed. I think it was like 3 or 4.
Oh, same. I got diagnosed when I was 10, but I just forgot about it.
And I find it quite hard to listen to people. And I don't mean that because I don't think they're interesting. I think you always get these ideas in your head. It's ironic we're saying that when we're both sitting here on the podcast talking to each other and bouncing questions off each other. But this thing that you get is you get so many ideas, and sometimes even when I'm with my girlfriend and she's talking to me, sometimes I'm like XTV, uni, family, friends.
I'm the same. I'm exactly the same. And I completely get you because the example I said before about the elections when in January when I was so focused about it. It doesn't happen as much with societies, but that's probably one of the reasons some of my friends were getting a bit annoyed, in a nice way, because when they were trying to speak to me and just have a normal conversation, but they were like, but then you always answer in a way to put in the word election in it. So we're so focused about something for the half an hour, and then we just start thinking about something else because we just can't concentrate. And I think I've never been open about that because I don't really think about it. I just think it's how I am and who I am, and if I think I don't think I should be. I should be able to. Not that I should be able, but I don't think I should have the need to tell people about it, because then I feel that people would change their attitude towards me if they know about it.
Do you think there'd be more pandering in a way? Like they'd feel it's hard, like patronising is how I see it.
Well, I've said it to a lot of my friends, but only when we were already close friends, because I knew that nothing would change if I would tell them. Because I remember last year I told to one of my friend about it, and she was like, "Oh, it makes so much sense." But she wouldn't change. She didn't change anything about it. She, our way of interacting or our friendship didn't change because of that. So, but if it's someone new that I don't know much, or he or she doesn't know me much, I prefer not really saying it, because I feel otherwise the person might change their way of interacting with me just because they might know this.
It's also quite, how do you sort of bring up in a conversation? You just don't really. How do you bring that sort of thing up in a conversation? You just don't really go out of your way to tell people you have ADD or ADHD, do you?
Oh yeah, no, of course. Yeah, hello everyone, I've got ADHD.
Yeah, it sort of seems like, I feel like everyone nowadays has it as well, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, we were diagnosed from a young age, and then you've got a lot of people now that are having symptoms of it. They're self-diagnosing themselves. They're not clinically diagnosed, which is a big shame, because it sort of makes it seem as like everyone has it. But I don't think it's that common from what I've seen.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it's the kind of thing that, like a lot of stuff in our generation now wasn't spoke about before. Probably in our parents' generation, for example, homosexuality, it always existed. But the mentality or the generation mind wasn't open enough for people to tell. And I think there's still obviously a lot of work to still be done. But I think people are more open, whether you're homosexual, or whether you have mental illness, or whether you have, I don't know, ADHD, like stuff that makes us what people would say anormal, non-normal. People are more open about it now. So even though it has always existed.
Yeah, it's definitely more prevalent today as well, with all the things like TikTok and all these tabs that you can open on your laptop, the role of your diet as well, your lack of sleep. That definitely has a massive influence on it as well. And like you said, speaking of more people aware of it now as well.
I feel there's two extremes. Not too extreme, but like two sides of it. I feel on one side, a lot of people are more open about it, which I think is quite good. I don't think I would be able to open myself enough about ADHD to anyone, I would say. But now, it's been like a month, 2 months that I'm like, you know what? What does it change? What is it going to change if I tell anyone? Whether it's a close friend or whether it's someone that I'm not really close to. Like, that was what my mentality before, that I would only say to close friends. But since January, I was like, you know what? It's fine. I can tell anyone if they want to know it. And I feel that, especially when you're looking for work, I prefer being honest. I prefer being honest. I'm like, yes, I do have this. Or, I don't know, a woman could say, yes, I do have this. Or a guy could say, oh, yes, I do have this. And it is what it is. It is who we are. So if people don't want you because of that, well, obviously, that's discrimination.
It's for the best as well.
I mean, it's discrimination from the employer.
Which is illegal under the Equality Act 2010, I believe.
There you are. Yeah, it's illegal. But in the same time, I would tell myself, that means he's rude and we don't deserve to be in it.
You should spend the time in that job as well.
Yeah. So if I go, let's imagine, with all my respect to, I don't know, football club, Chelsea, for example. Let's imagine I would want to work in the Chelsea store. I go and tell my employer, oh yes, by the way, I have got ADHD. But then the employer says, they won't say it directly, but they won't hire you because you've got ADHD or because, I don't know, you have something else. I don't know. It's discrimination. Technically, it's illegal. But in my head, I don't think I would try and sue them because of that. I would just tell myself, that means it's for the best. That means it's not that I'm not made myself, but it's better if I don't go there because the atmosphere would be really bad. So I prefer being open about who I am. So at least people know who I really am, and the environment can be quite open friendly instead of just hiding it and possibly discover after 1 year that I'm just going to leave because it's awful.
Do you think talking about it, having ADHD, makes you a bit insecure?
No, on the contrary, it made me much better.
I find it interesting because one thing that I've struggled throughout my life until I came to uni really and changed my life, similar to how you did yours last year, 2 years ago, sorry, was talking about that I'm autistic or have Asperger's, and I hate sort of talking about it because it makes you feel.
Wait, like, is that you?
Yeah.
You have Asperger's?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like talking about it makes people look at you in a different way. And I don't tell people about it unless it's really brought up, unless it's like someone else talks about it. Do you know what I mean?
And you're right. And I think you're right, because you really just have to be ready about it, if you see what I mean. You have to be ready to face people's judgment. Like, I've known you for, more than 1 year now, and it's the first time you tell me now. And I would have never guessed it.
Yeah, it's just a thing. I just don't go around telling people because it doesn't. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, does it?
It doesn't matter, and I think there's no need, unless it could have maybe a link to what you do, you know. But because of the way we know each other, you never had the occasion or any reason to tell me about it, and. In a nice way, I'm quite happy, that you tell me now. But in the same time, like, it's fine, if you never tell me, because it won't change, or it wouldn't have changed anyway, our way of interacting.
Yeah, it's also important to talk about these sort of things as well. Sometimes I think, because for me, it was always an insecurity growing up. Talking about like being autistic or something. I did get laughed at as well when I was younger, which doesn't help. But. As you get older and you mature more, you realise how short life is. And going back to what we're saying earlier about these quotes and these phrases on, carpe diem or memento mori, it's like, just accept it and move on and get on with it,
Of course. No, I completely relate, because I've been bullied at school until I was like 15, 16. So, I completely get you. And it was quite strange, but in the same time, quite...
Make sure you're talking down the barrel.
Oh, sorry. It was quite strange, but in the same time, quite good. The other day, a friend of mine, she texted me saying, "How can you manage to have such a positive attitude on a Sunday evening?" And I was like, well, on social media, I've got a lot of people. I can't deny it. I've got a lot of people who follow me. I don't want to say it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I've got a lot of people who follow me. So I know, and I've realized even more this year, especially with all the societies and the political side of the elections, that I can tell that some people look at what I do. I won't say a lot, but I can tell that some people do. Because how many times it happened that some people say, "Oh, I saw on your story, blah, 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 blah." And I'm quite happy about it. Because it was always in a nice way, because I was kind of helping them. The other day, someone told me, "Oh, you're like the news of Exeter. Like, we can know which society is happening in Exeter because you just repost them on your story." So I'm like, that's good. I'm really happy about it. And it's from that moment that I've understood I only want to share positive mindset on social media. I only want to share positive mindset because I think there's already so much negativity and so much bad vibes, informations going on around the world that I'm like, we don't need it. And whenever I feel bad, it happened to me really several times, a lot, but I don't think there's a need to share it, because it won't change anything, whether for me or for the others. It will just be informations, and very often when people feel bad, is the best way for people to come and kind of attack you because you're vulnerable. So I'm lucky enough. I really, really feel lucky to have amazing friends who are here to support me whenever I feel bad. So I just go to my friends, to my close friends when I feel bad, and I just, I talk to them. And I just solve this situation. But then when it comes to social media, I really want to post about positive stuff. But when I got this message from my friend saying, "Oh, how can you be so positive always on a Sunday evening?" I was like, I am. I always try to be positive. But that's what you will see on my social media. The real life, it isn't. I've got probably 98% of the time, positive attitude in my life. And I always try to be as positive and really happy as possible because, whether it was with the elections, losing, and try to find some positive side of it, I always try to find positive side of life. But in the same time, I did have some bad moments. And it's normal to have some bad moments. I've been through a lot until I was 18. A lot of the stuff were very, very similar to what you said about, being a bit bullied for who you are, because I was ADHD, a bit overweight, this kind of stuff. And it's awful to say, but bullying or being attacked by people, if you're strong enough, at the beginning it wasn't easy at all, but I think that if you're strong enough, it's the best way to make you even stronger.
It helps you grow as a character.
Oh,
especially helps
Clearly.
you build your mind as well. If you can tolerate people when you're younger laughing at you, or when you look back on it, tolerating it, and even today tolerating people laughing at you and putting you down, it actually helps you, separates you from other people, because a lot of people have so many beautiful ideas and so many things that they can do and accomplish with their lives, but it's always that fear of someone else. The idea of what we're saying about friends as well, you need people that uplift you, and seeing bad people really helps you appreciate the people in your lives that are good.
That's the thing. One of the reasons I've managed to do so much. I think I know a lot of my close friends are a bit fed up that I say that all the time, but it's genuinely true. I would have never been able to do everything that I do here in Exeter if I didn't have these people. Whether it's people in the organization team or even close friends in general, like Ryu, Reese, Cornelia, Mikhail, no matter who it was, organization, close friends, family, no matter, they are the people I got my energy from. And if I don't get this energy of people, as you said, who lift you up, I would have never been able. Like, obviously there is a part of myself that does it, and it's who I am. But in the same time, if it was only me, I don't know what I would do. I would probably do good stuff, but I don't think I would be able to do as much if I didn't have the other people's energy.
But we're all responsible for ourselves, aren't we? And it's in those moments where we need a little bit of a kick up the backside, or maybe our friends being honest to us or actually helping us in a small way can go a long way. And it's always success is not always down to the individual. It's also down to teamwork as well. Something for me is before I came to uni, I almost quit college, which was, I did 4 years of college, 2 years were in higher education, which, that helped me get into university and accepted. But I actually wanted to quit college at one point, and it was my aunt just saying to me, just keep going, keep going, stay another year and see what happens. And I stayed, did an extra year, got my qualifications, and that, I didn't do well in GCSEs, but the fact that I got a higher education, some qualifications, and that helped me get to Exeter. And, as a result, she gets to come to my graduation. And, I'm sure you've got examples as well of small things that have helped you in a massive way.
I don't think I've had it, or at least that's either me denying it, before coming to Exeter, but I've genuinely had it here in Exeter for sure. I don't think it's long enough yet for me to say that it will have an impact for me in the future, because it's only been 4 years for the moment, but that it happened to me a lot of stuff since I was in first year that changed me as a person for sure. And also, will it be a lifetime good stuff, consequence that will help me in the future?
Who knows?
Who knows?
What, you're 20?
I think
21?
21. I just turned up 21 in December.
You're basically a baby. I'm 24, and I know. Even when we get even the things of your degree and stuff as well, like what you get at the end of your degree. Let's be honest, in 20 years' time, we're not going to be thinking about it, are we?
Of course not.
Maybe not even from 5 years.
Of course not.
Our lives would be changing drastically. I think actually the extracurricular stuff we've done helps us more.
Genuinely, much
in
more.
Our degree.
I don't know if you remember, because I remember you. I think you even commented about it last year. I posted a message on LinkedIn about how I was so done with people posting on LinkedIn saying, Oh, I'm so proud to announce that I got accepted in that job. Oh, I'm so proud to say that I got a first in my graduation. I was like, in a nice way, who gives a fuck? Like, who gives a heck? Because consequence, people will just look at it, and I'm like, oh, if I didn't get a first, that means I'm a bad student. Or if I didn't get an internship, that means I'm a bad student. So many people think like that because the number of people who write like this on LinkedIn, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like, it's a way of doing. You know, I don't mind.
It's a skill in a way. I agree with how you see it. I agree with that as well. And then I have to. I don't. You don't have to post on it, but the way I use it is as an online CV.
Posting about in your like profile what you've done, that's normal because then you just create your CV. But writing messages saying, "Oh, dear network, I'm pleased to announce that I've been accepted in internship out in Amazon." I honestly don't really think the network really gives a fuck about it. No, because then I see the messages of people. You can just tell from so far that it's fake.
Oh,
as hell.
Congratulations, you've made it. Something
Yeah, like it's fake as hell because they just speak like if they were like, I don't know, the CEO of a company or something when they're actually just a best friend who lived with them in the house. Like, I just think it's quite fake. And to be fair, that's the whole social media vibe anyway. But I think that Instagram, I feel personally that it's a little bit less fake. Whilst LinkedIn is so fake because they just, I don't know, I feel they just write, oh, congratulations, so like that the employees can probably see it, which is fine. I don't mind it. You know, it's a kind of world in a way that I respect. You know, I don't mind, but I will never be part of it. Because, yeah, as I said, it to come back from what we were saying before about people, you know, having this fear of being, compared. With other people, they see, he got a first, so that means I'm a bad student if I get a 2-1, or I didn't have an internship, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no. Last year, I got a 2-1, well, extreme, like close to 1. I was close to get a 2-2, but thank God I got a 2-1 for my BA, and one of the modules I got 40 and 45%. In this module.
I remember you posting about that.
Yeah, and which was like 42% average, but that doesn't mean I failed my life. I failed my degree.
Yeah.
So, no, because every time I see people receiving their marks, they're like, oh my God, it's done. I finished. I'm quitting, you know, just for 1 mark. I'm like, no. 1 mark is probably even less than 1% of your whole degree sometimes. So, it's normal not to have a module that you like. And it's normal not to like something because from all the modules that we will do here at uni, there are for sure modules that you won't enjoy. That's obligated. Like, I don't think there is any, I mean, if there is, I would love to meet them. I don't think there is a single student who will probably enjoy every module in the same way. There will always be a module that you like most and a module that you like less. And it's normal. I think it's completely normal to probably not fail, but do less good in one of the modules, because then that doesn't mean you will have a bad degree, because then it brings me to what you said before about, I think I've learned much more in the societies I've been involved in, all the extra curriculum stuff I've done here at the uni. I've learned so much more than in a lecture or in a seminar room.
Yeah, I think people in the future will look at you and look at your stuff as on your leadership and stuff as opposed to your degree. I mean, they'll look at your degree and think that's impressive, but the fact that you've been a part of 5 societies.
Let's be entirely honest. I think a degree is just a number.
It really is. It's just an overpriced piece of paper, you know.
I think it's just a number because, as you said, yeah, it's just a piece of paper, and they're like, oh, he got a 2-1 from Exeter. Oh, he got a first from Oxford. Yes, obviously, it will make a difference. Someone who gets a first from Oxford will definitely be different in a way than someone who has a first from Exeter, because it's more complicated, you know, to have a first from Oxford than Exeter, I would imagine. But if you look just at this, I think it's not fair. I feel, obviously I'm not an employer and I can't know yet, but I feel I would prefer having someone who's maybe had a 2-1 in Exeter, but did a lot of extra curriculum stuff next year, than rather just having someone who has a first from Oxford.
Has done absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that has done actually nothing, because that means he learned by heart every step. Not by heart, but you know, he was fully academic thinking. So apart if you want to be a teacher at the uni, I mean, in a nice way, and it's a bit boring, you know.
Do you think, how many modules do you think you've actually enjoyed from your degree?
Well, for me, it's a bit special because I didn't like my degree because I did BA International Relations Politics. So yeah, like politics wasn't like at the beginning. I wanted to do it, but then by coming here, I realized that it wasn't my thing.
I know I'm in the same boat as you. I'll be honest with you. Doing my degree sort of actually put me off the film industry itself. It's also made me realise, you know, there's so much more for things at uni that you can really enjoy. I mean, the society things, the freedom that you get to try new things. I think doing a lot of essay writing and stuff is teaches you the importance of research. And then there are some modules that you do like a group project, which is quite important. You know, teamwork is an essential skill to have when it comes to your life in general.
Definitely, you've learned learn so much as teamwork and leadership.
But most of it is just so individually based. If you know what I mean.
Agreed. No, agreed. You learn so much yourself with everything that you do, the people that you meet, the activities that you do, and what you do as your degree is obviously important. But I think that a lot of people, I might be wrong, I mean I hope I'm wrong, but from what I've seen in the last 4 years, I think a lot of people just want to finish their degree because they pay for it. Let's be entirely honest. You know, they know that they pay for it or they're using a loan for it. So it's just a question of money. It's just a question, I don't want to waste my money. So I don't know. I really hope that I'm wrong. But from what I saw, I have the impression that people do their degree because they don't want to waste their money or because maybe their parents told them to, instead of, oh yeah, I really enjoy it, I really want to learn more. I've met a lot of people that really were doing their degree because they liked it. But most of them, I feel they just do it because they have to pay for it.
It's quite rare to find those people that do the degree for themselves. You know, I initially
have you met a lot of them that do that? I mean,
well, I actually think now.
Yeah, and I have the impression I see more people who always say, "Oh yeah," because you know it's so. I mean, how many people complain about how expensive it is? You know, if you complain about it, that means you don't. There is something that you don't particularly enjoy in it. You know, because I feel that if you would enjoy your degree, even though it's expensive, you would more think about how good, how enjoyable is your degree rather than how expensive it is.
Yeah, I mean, we are still lucky compared to the American system. You know, that is just disgustingly expensive, and I don't.
To be fair, the master's one is not cheap at all.
What was it, 22,000?
Well, for me, I pay 14,500 for the university fee, and between 9,000 and 10,000 for the house.
And I would say at the end of my degree that the money that you pay is not worth it.
For what?
The degree itself.
For the university fee?
I wouldn't say for the experience is definitely. I think the experience that you get is more valuable than the degree that you get. I think we were saying that just a minute ago anyway.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Well, I would say yes and no, because yes, you're right on the fact of saying that if you think about how the university fee only itself, if you think that it only goes to the university, like your degree, yes, it's way too much. But then I'm like, would the university be able to offer so much that, you know, we do here at uni if we didn't pay that much?
No, not at all.
There you go.
That was the thing. I think it was Jeremy Corbyn, wasn't it, a couple of years ago, who was trying to get free education, which it sounds fantastic. You know, I think we're all up for that, but it's
good luck
to be business.
Good luck to do that in England. It's not a criticism, but I think the British culture is made as much as you can't do that. Sorry, in France we do.
Do you want some of my water?
Yes, please. Thank you.
I feel like it's quite hard to talk for almost an hour and a half without drinking some water.
After 5 hours of sleep.
Yeah, I had to almost drown myself in water before we started, just in case I get a dry throat or something. You know.
Yeah, so I'm losing it with my voice. Sorry.
That's fine.
I was gonna say, I think the British culture is made as much as you need money at the uni to be able to give everything that the uni gives, because in France the university is free, but we don't have all these extracurriculum stuff. Like, it technically exists, but it's nothing compared to what England has. So it's awful to say, but you need, in a way, we always need to pay to do stuff, because unfortunately, we wish that everything was free. But everything is, needs money towards it. So we could go on a debate, and that I completely agree with you, that maybe the money is used a bit in a bad way, and it could be used maybe in a better way. That's why it's this kind of small stuff when we're saying about intramural or society stuff, to make it as free as possible, because people are already paying so much. Why should they pay more? That's the kind of things that could potentially help. But if you make the university free here in England, as Corbyn was saying, I think it's pretty irrealistic. I don't think it would ever work, because the state would be just bankrupt as hell.
Yeah, it would. It would. You mentioned about British culture, and more actually, no, I was going to ask you about Exeter University and British culture with the society stuff. Do you know any others? Did you look at any other universities before you came here?
Warwick, Loughborough, and which one was it? And technically Sussex, but I didn't really visit, because when I was visiting the uni, it was after, just before COVID actually, so it was a bit complicated to visit. I really remember Warwick. I really remember visiting Exeter, of course. I remember visiting York. That's it. York. Yeah, and it was a bit. I would say it was a bit weird at the beginning, because even though my mom already lived in London, I knew already a lot of stuff from the British culture, so it wasn't completely new to me. But in the same time, going up north, in the nice possible way for people who live up north, I don't want to criticize it, but I didn't feel as relaxed, I would say, than the universities more south, maybe. So I don't know if it's the geography side of it, but I feel that York and Loughborough, I didn't really... Actually, no, it wasn't Loughborough. Sorry, Lancaster. Sorry, Lancaster and York. I didn't really feel I was relaxed as much as when I was visiting Warwick and Exeter. Because when my mom visited Exeter, she was like, okay, you definitely have to come here. And at the beginning, I was like, okay, yeah, sure. I was like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I in a nice way, I didn't really care about it. Yeah, I didn't really care about it. And at the beginning, I really wanted to go to Sussex, because I was still attached to Paris, and Sussex, was between London and Paris, so it was an easy way to travel. But then my mom kind of forced me to go to Exeter, and I have to say now, after 4 years, thank you, Mom.
I was also interested. Do you think, I don't know what other universities across the UK itself do as many societies as Exeter? Because we've got,
370 something. Because it was 352 before the elections, but now I think it's gone up.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That is absolutely brilliant.
Well, I won't comment about the societies, because I'm not an officer next year, but I think they should probably do something about the new societies, because it's becoming too much now.
What new societies do you think?
No, not the societies itself that are being created, but every week there's new societies being created. At the end of the day, it's just going to be too much.
Yeah.
Like the guild is already having troubles now, like gathering and organizing the current society. So how are they going to manage to have more? So I don't know. If they manage to find solutions, good for them. I just want the success of every societies and the guild and the university itself. So if they manage, good on them, and congratulations to our future societies and employability officer, Indian Walton Salmon.
I was going to say about the society thing. What is the weirdest society that you've seen? I remember looking at the list of societies in my year before I came here, and I found some things that I was like, Taylor Swift Society? Really? Like, why? It's just, I like it's pretty clever though, that the idea of you can create a group based on one thing, like a person, and do events around it. I think that's the beauty that you get here. And I was going to ask you, what is your weirdest society that you've seen?
I've been totally honest. I've never thought that any society was weird, because I've always thought that a lot of people could potentially find my stuff weird. So
down to the person, isn't it? Really, it's down to the person. Then
I just think that there are lots of societies I know that I wouldn't be part of because I'm not interested about it, but I respect it. I saw the other day that what's it called, Lana Del Rey society has been created.
That's the singer, right? Lana Del Rey. Yeah.
So another singer society has been created, and she's not an artist I particularly listen to, but I respect it. If people want to have it, and whether it's 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people that are gonna be together to talk about it, why not? Yeah, if they want to do it, why not? But as I said, I don't find it weird, but in the same time, I know that I won't be part of it. And the same goes for non-singers, like economic, finance, this kind of stuff. I've always been really, really bad at that, so I don't think I would ever join these kind of societies. I think even though one of them tried really hard to convince me to come, but I always said no.
Is that the business or the entrepreneur society? Because they're pretty good at rounding up people and recruiting. They tried me quite a bit last year.
Both of them tried. BFS and entrepreneurship.
But they are run by good committees.
That's the thing.
They're nice people.
That's the thing. I've met both presidents of entrepreneurship and business BFS, Hamza and Laura for BFS, and I keep on forgetting his name for entrepreneur. But they were all of Sean. Yeah, they were all really, really nice. But every time I try to explain them, it's not really my thing. I already, first of all, I already have so much going on myself with the committees I'm in. So I don't think I would. It would be a bit of a lie to say that I would have time to probably come, or to say that I'm really interested about it. Like, I prefer saying, oh, congratulations, and I respect for what you do, and I could potentially help you. I don't know, to maybe promote an event or help each other between committees. That's normal. I've done that 100 times, more than 100 times here at uni, to help each other between committees. But me, myself, as a student, joining them as a member, no, thank you.
I think the word weird, what I used, was probably not the word to use.
No,
but like I said, like the weird.
I know a lot of
different. I think indifferent or things.
I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people find a lot of societies weird, and they think they shouldn't. I don't know if they really think they shouldn't be that, but I think it's normal to find something weird. But I just think we talked about bullying, before. I received a lot of criticism in my life, especially before coming to uni, how weird I was, according to them. So this is one of the mentalities I always try to to keep in myself. All the hard moments that I've had in my life, I don't want anyone in my surrounding to have the same. So because I've received so many times people telling me, oh, you're weird, you're different, blah, blah, blah. Well, it was such a harsh moment that I don't want anyone to feel that the same, that they've been told, oh, it's weird or it's different or anything,
I don't think it's bad being a weird person in a way. I think we're all different and weird in a way, aren't we?
Yeah, but
I guess it depends on how
different,
weird.
I agree with you. Different, it's fine, because we are all different. That is true. But weird, I don't know. Weird, I think, is a bit of maybe a negative or pejorative aspect maybe of saying something. So that's why when people are saying, oh, that's a bit weird, this society, if they feel uncomfortable, that's fine. But I feel that weird sometimes is a bit of a judgment side. I don't know.
You definitely get it when you're working your best as well. Working hard, doing a lot of stuff that people tend to come for you.
There you are. You're absolutely right. We put so much effort in our committees and our societies that if I listen to someone, or if someone comes to me and say, oh, your society is weird. Oh, your society is so different. Like, why does it exist? I would just say, go away. They're not respectful of the work, we've been doing with the teams altogether. So if people want to create a society, if people want to do it, that means already that they have a committee, like minimum 3 people as the guild ask. And that means people are interested. And also, there's like this 20 votes thing to be able to create a society. If people have these 20 votes, whether it's friends who just vote because they're friends or people who vote because they're really interested, that means there is people interested behind. So I don't know if it's like 5 or 10 people, but no matter how many there are, they're interested about it. So I don't see why we should block them from having it. My only concern is more finding ways to organize it good.
And it's also, I think the only time it ever gets a bit of an issue is when it's impinging on other people or like, causing harm or something or causing offence. I feel like there's all societies, no matter how different it is, as long as it's not breaching those boundaries, are actually doing a good thing. They're creating these small little groups. Well, like we said, no matter how big or small it is, it creates this sense of community that we live on, don't we? That's human nature.
Agreed. There are a lot of societies, especially the political ones, that I could criticize on what they do as events. And I think you probably know which one. I think we all know which one they are. We all criticize them. The extreme right one. Freedom of speech, they're called freedom society. So they call freedom society. So we should be able to give them freedom of
expression.
Being there in the limit of the law. Obviously there are some things that are unacceptable, that what they do or what they say, but from the moment it's in the respect of the law, it's awful to say, but we can't really block them.
No, and do you know what? You may disagree with what they're saying and what they're doing, but as long as it's within the law, you have to accept it.
That's the thing.
I think that's the best way is also to be mature. Like, you can disagree with someone's politics, but if you get along with them as who they are, I think that's a good way to live.
Last year when I was running for guild president, I did my campaign with who, that this time I really won't name because he changed so much since then that I don't want to even think about him, because I think now he's becoming a real disaster. But the reason I've accepted to work with him is, politically speaking, we're frankly opposite, like really, really opposite. But he knows what he does, and he's very much involved into politics. Was it a regret? No, because I've lost, but I've learned so much stuff doing that campaign that helped me this year. And I don't think I would have been able to get these 762 votes this year if I didn't do the campaign the year before.
Yeah.
And the fact of working and being accepting, who this guy was and his views and how he behaves and this kind of stuff helped, I think, the atmosphere to be quite good and to reach out more people. Because I would say it was a bit difficult because my opponent was also left-wing, but I'm left-wing, and I would probably reach out to kind of left-wing people, and he would reach out to right-wing people, I would say. So no matter which situation, whether it was this election or in general, you can, if you have different views, if you're open-minded enough to work with people, even if you disagree with them, it's a good way to reach out to more people, I feel.
Yeah, it is. It's about being open-minded at the end of the day, isn't it?
When you do this kind of stuff, you have to be open-minded. Otherwise, you just can't work in general.
No, you can't. You can't at all. Have you ever had any political discussions at uni that have ended up like
political discussions?
Yeah, like with high conflict or.
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, not that I can remember, because most of the political discussions I had, and to be fair, I didn't have that many, were with people I politically agree with, and the people I don't agree politically, I didn't have any political discussion with, because I knew I wouldn't agree from the beginning. So, and this is one of the reasons I don't like politics. I think it's too much speaking and not enough action. And I consider myself as a left-wing person, but I don't think I would be able to argue really well of why I'm a left-wing person. So that's why I've never been to debating society. As much as I love Alex Martin and Matt Gaston, they've they also tried to convince me to join debating society, but I've always said no. And same goes with political societies. Like I am member technically of a political society, but I only went to one event of what they do because it's, I don't know, it's too political, I think, and I don't really feel reassured. Like I relax enough, I think, when they do political stuff, especially debating. So I prefer being involved in charity stuff because I would feel I would have much more of an impact by, I don't know, fundraising, for example. Even if it's a small amount, I don't know, £30 by doing a bake sale in the forum, I feel this will have much more of an impact than just debating on trying to find a solution, because we in a nice way, we are no one. We are no one, so it's not debating in the business school about I don't know, a specific subject that will help to solve stuff, whilst giving £30 maybe to, I don't know, the kids in Gaza currently that are living under the bombs. That could potentially help them. I don't know, who knows, maybe save them, you never know.
It's a better way of spending your time. Like you said, I'm similar to you. I don't really know much about politics. I have my beliefs and my values and my views, but I don't know enough to debate or talk about them. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
I'm
exactly the same, yeah.
It's interesting to reading on both sides of the spectrum, but I feel like there's people out there who are just incredible with like what they know, especially the part of these political societies. And I feel like our time is best spent doing things that we know enough about, but also I think we can do things that we need to learn on as well.
I respect it, what they do. Like, I completely agree with you, and I'm exactly the same. But I respect what the political people do, whether it's on political societies or debating society. But I've got a lot of questioning on it. I'm questioning a lot. Sometimes their real intentions, honestly.
How do you mean?
When I see what they do and when I see what they post or how they think, this kind of stuff, I'm really questioning whether they're really there to help people or whether they do it for themselves. Let's be entirely honest.
Well,
every politician, you have to be a nasty person to succeed in politics. Let's be entirely honest. You have to go through a nasty moment to succeed in politics. Unfortunately, that is the reality. All the politicians that they are currently in power, whether it's in Europe, in America, or in England, anywhere, there are people that have done, I wouldn't say bad stuff, but they've been very much centralized about themselves to be able to get to power. And I don't think that's a good way to solve stuff. So I think personally that there's a real problem with politics in general, because people are not interested enough, and they just think that politicians are just egocentric people that just think about themselves. I'm probably one of the first person to think about it. Sometimes I have hope in some of them, but they do in the end so low. It shows you how much they're not strong enough to get to the top, I would say. So why do we say that, the mayor, for example, of a city is the best politician? Usually because he's the local one and he knows everyone, so he knows, the real struggles of people, because he probably meets them, I don't know, at the market or walking in the street, this kind of stuff. So I'm sure the mayor of Exeter is probably more aware, I would say, of the problems happening in his area, rather than Rishi Sunak, who's in London and has to deal with the whole country. So I don't know. There's, I think, a lot of things that should be changed if you want people to go and vote and be interested about it. Because I heard someone in Expression News the other day, I can't remember if it was Flo or someone between all the other members, but they were saying for the guild elections, 13% of the people voted. And they were saying something like, oh, but if it's these 13% of people that are involved with the guild in general, that means you could, in a way, they didn't say it, but in a way it's true, you could consider them as 100%, which I think is not true. I think everyone wants to be involved. How many people did I meet during the physical campaign saying, oh, I'm not interested because it's politics and I don't want to be involved in that? I'm like, fair. You're right. In my head, I was like, okay, but trust me, I'm the same. I think the same as you, and that's why I'm a candidate. It was really difficult to convince them. But I try to, just feel more, I don't know. I think there's a way that needs to be changed. I feel that there's something that needs to be changed, because otherwise, especially our generation, will never go to vote. The only party that has a chance, I think, to potentially do good in the elections in the future years is the Green Party. No matter which policies they're going to bring, they are the only ones that could potentially have the votes of young people, our generation now, because we're all so concerned about ecology and global warming that in a way they are the ones who could potentially do something, because they are the Green Party. But even there,
they probably wouldn't get voted in because of the two major parties that are around.
Well, in France, we have they won most of the mayor in the big cities in France, the Green Party. So
maybe it's just a sign of things to come.
I think it's a general sign, because I think it was in 2021, it was the first time that so our generation, all the Friday for Future, Greta Thunberg generation was voting. So, and all the green won kind of the big cities like Paris, Lyon, Marseille, Bordeaux. I think it was a mix between socialist and green. I think it shows because the young generation is aware about what's going on. I don't think they are not. I think all of us, we are interested about politics. We're just not interested, and we don't like the way it's built currently. But if it was built in a proper way that it would really make changes, we would go and vote. No?
True. I do agree we're all political. That's how we all form an opinion of something, isn't it? Really, Everything is political in a way. So we're actually running out of time, because I can see James.
Yeah, of course.
Frantically panicking around, trying to get ready for his behind the scenes.
Yeah, of course.
Which starts in 5 minutes. So, Mathias, I'm going to ask you, where can people find you, and what do you do before we go?
On Instagram, Mathias La Pira, LA_PIRA. I am president of a lot of societies, Italian Olympic Games, General Sec of Eurovision Society, as I will be performing for Italy at X-Vision Song Contest in collaboration with Expression and XTV. And then also publicity officer of Polish Society. It's a society that is not only for Polish people, because we want to have as many people as possible who are interested, about the Polish culture. If you've ever been to Warsaw, Krakow, anywhere, Poznan in Poland, come, because even personally, I'm on committee. I've never been to Poland, so that it shows you that it's really open to anyone who wants to come. Our wonderful president, Cornelia, treasurer, Scarlett, we're all very different. We also have two new committee members, Dominic and Anya. Big shout to both of them. They've been amazing last night. And then, education officer, French Society.
Perfect. Well, La Pira, thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much.
Goodbye.